Okay, welcome back. So what I was explaining is this, that if we assume that currently FCA is what? Is doing only educational services. That's what the company is currently offering. That's the only business FCA is doing right now, educational services. And this educational industry will have its own business risk, right? If that is the case, the work we have computed here for this company, for FCA presently, the work will reflect what risk? It will reflect the risk of the educational industry. Okay? The work will reflect the risk of the current industry, which is what? Education industry. Now, if FCA now want to go into financial service industry, it will not be appropriate for FCA to pick the work here, and use it to discount the cash flow for the education industry of the financial service industry. That will not be appropriate, because the education industry and the financial service industry do not have the same business risk. Okay? They do not have what? The same business risk. So it will be totally wrong for you to pick the work here and you are using it to discount the cash flow of your investment in the financial service industry. No, 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 no. It is not correct. It is totally wrong. Because the moment you are moving from education industry to financial service industry, your business risk is changing. There's going to be a change in business risk. Because of this change in business risk, it is very, very important that you compute another work entirely for the activity you want to carry out in the financial service industry. So, FCA, we need to look into the financial service industry and get that business risk that it is going to face in that industry, in order to compute a work that is suitable for evaluating investment in the financial service industry. And for you to get that work, the procedure is what we put together in step 1 to 8 below.
Okay,
I
sir.
believe we are fine.
Yes, sir.
Are we fine? Okay. So let us go and pick a question and illustrate this. Let us pick a question and illustrate this. Okay. Let us pick a question. Okay. Hold on to question 11 first. I won't start with question 11. I want to start with question 13. So let us come to question 13. Go to question 13. I will come back to question 11 and 12 later. There is reason for that. It's for you to understand it better. So example 13. Example 13. Now let us look at the requirement of that. That's page 30, page 32, 33 to 34. Let us look at the requirement of the question. Let's look at the requirement. The requirement is ignoring the project, calculate the current work. Calculate the current work. Sorry, 1 minute. Hello, so sorry, Jerry. All these old women, when they are coming to Lagos like that, it's a problem upon problem. So sorry about that. So let us continue. Let's read the question. So requirement A says that ignoring the project, calculate the current work of BP using the CAPM, the Gordon's growth model. We don't have any issue with requirement A, true of us, do we? In fact, we are going to, you will go and attempt question. That's, I gave you an assignment you did not submit. So you know. I gave you an assignment, you did not submit the assignment.
I
And I'm,
submitted my.
you said?
I submitted my
Okay, you
exam.
submitted.
Said you came back to me.
Only you. It's only you that submitted out of 3.
Yes,
What
I
else?
submitted them.
When? When did you submit? Did you send it to me?
No. Yes, sir.
When was that? I didn't receive your assignment. Oh, I remember I received out of.
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
What about Mrs. Mrs. Angela? Okay, I've seen yours. Okay, good. What about Mrs. Angela? Mrs. Angela, you did not submit. Hello? Okay, Mrs. Chewy, I've seen yours. I've seen yours. Yeah. Okay, good. Now, for requirement A, that's going to be an assignment for you because it's based on what you have done so far. It's not based on what I just explained here. That's why the question says, ignoring the project, calculate, you can see. What does the question ask you to calculate? Current work, current work. Forget about the new project. Just act as if the new project does not exist. That's what the question is trying to tell you. Ignoring the project, calculate the current work. Calculate the current work of BP. So the one of my concern is requirement B. Okay, so I'm going to mark your assignments tomorrow and I'll give you feedback by God grace. Mrs. Angela, please make sure you submit so that I can do everything together tomorrow and give you your feedback. Very, very important. That's the only way we can progress. Okay, thank you. So B, using the CAPM, calculate the cost of equity that should be included in a work suitable for appraising the project and explain your reasoning. Can you see that now? You can see that suitable. That's project specific cost of capital. Anytime a company wants to undertake a project and that project the company wants to undertake is not in its current industry, the company is going out of its current industry into another industry to carry out another project, then you have to compute project specific cost of capital for that project. Okay, you have to compute project specific cost of capital for that project. Take note. Take note. So B, using the CAPM, calculate the cost of equity. The question did not ask you to calculate work. What are you asked to calculate here? Cost of equity. So A, this is where the question wants you to stop. Look at it. Step what is that? I think that should be step 5, Abby. The company wants you to stop at step 5. Compute cost of equity. So the question did not ask you to do all other steps. Compute cost of equity suitable for computing work. If you want to compute work, the cost of equity that you are going to include in the computation of work is what the question asks you to compute, not work. Take note. Please, attention to detail is very, very important so that you don't go and do more than what the examiner asks you to. So let us work with our what? With our step. Computation of appropriate cost of equity for the project appropriate cost of equity for the project. What are steps? Step one. What do we do? Step one is what? So we start from step one. But before then, let's go and read the question so that we have a better understanding of the requirements. Okay, let's read the question. Baoku PSC BP is a listed company in the food retailing sector and has large stores in all the major cities in the country. BP's board is considering diversifying by opening holiday travel shops in all of its stores. Now look at it. What is the current activity of this company? Food retailing is the current activity, right? Food retailing is the current activity. But the company now want to what? The company want to diversify by what? By opening holiday travel. These are two different projects in two different industries. Okay? Two different projects in two different industries. So, let us continue. That is how, even without the question telling you that you should calculate appropriate, the question can just tell you compute work. You should know the type of work you are computing. And the only way you will be able to understand is for you to know that whenever the project is diversification, diversification means you are going out of your current industry into another industry. That is what diversification means. Okay? You are going out from your current industry and undertake an investment in another industry. So the moment you hear diversification, you have to compute project-specific cost of capital, even if the examiner does not require or does not specifically tell you to do that. Let us continue. At a recent board meeting, the directors were discussing how the holiday travel shops project, which is the project, should be appraised. The sales director insisted that BP's current weighted average cost of capital should be used to appraise the project, as the majority of its operations will still be in food retailing. The finance director disagreed because the existing cost of equity does not take into account the systematic risk of the new project. The finance director also said that the company's overall work, which reflects all of each company's activities, will change as a result of the new project acceptance. The board were also concerned, please. Hello, sorry, Gary. Let's continue. So step one is what? Okay, we are still reading the question, right? Where did you stop? The board were also concerned about the market reaction to their diversification plans. A further board meeting was scheduled at which BP advisors will be asked to make a presentation on the project. Now, you work for BP advisors and you have been asked to prepare information for the presentation. You have established the following. One, BP intends to raise the capital required for the project in such a way that its existing debt equity ratio by market value will not change following the diversification. Two, extra from BP's most recent management account are shown below. We have statement of financial position as at 31st May 2017. Ordinary share of 10 kobo per share, 233. Retained earnings, 5,030. 6% redeemable debenture at nominal value, redeemable in 2021, 1,900. Long-term bank loan, interest rate of 4%, 635. On 31st May 2017, BP's ordinary shares had a market value of 276 kobo XD and an equity beta of 0.6. For the year ended 31st May 2017, the dividend yield was 4.2%, and the earnings per share was 25 kobo. The return on the market is expected to be 8% per annum, and risk-free rate is 2% per annum. BP's debenture had a market value of 108x interest per 100 nominal value on 31st May 2017, and they are redeemable at par on 31 May 2021. Companies operating solely in the holiday travel industry, can you see that now? That's your proxy information. You are now given the information in this paragraph now is the information of the proxy company, a company that is already in the industry, in the world. Which industry is that? Holiday travel industry, where BP want to go into. The companies operating in that industry, the information is what is contained in this paragraph. So let's go through the information. Companies operating solely in the holiday travel industry have an average equity beta of what? 1.4. That's the proxy beta. An average debt equity ratio by market value of 3 to 5. That's the gearing ratio. It has been estimated that if the project goes ahead, the overall equity beta of BP, not TPO, change it please, BP. The overall equity beta of BP will be made up of 90% food retailing and 10% holiday travel shops. Assume that the income tax rate will be 21% per annum for the foreseeable future required. Using the CAPM, calculate the cost of equity that should be included in a WACC suitable for appraising the project and explain your reasoning. So, we have our first step is what? To identify our proxy company, Abi. We are given industry, the whole industry average as our proxy. So our proxy company is what? We call it what? Industry average is the proxy we are using. Industry average. Because we're not given the name of a particular company. We're given the name, the industry information. So industry average. Okay, is our proxy. You don't need to state this in the exam. I'm just itemizing the steps so that it will be easy for you when you are revising. Okay, that's why I'm doing all this. In the exam, I don't need to be doing all this rubbish I'm doing here. Okay, so step two. Step two. Step two. What is the proxy beta? Obtain the proxy beta. Abi? That is step two. Obtain the proxy beta. which is beta of equity. So what's our beta? Our beta is 1.4 for the industry. Now, this beta of equity comprises the business risk of the holiday travel and the what? And the financial risk of the companies, average financial risk of the companies in the industry on the average, their financial risk. So we need to ungear it because this is equity beta, it's a gear beta. If it's a gear beta, you need to what? You need to ungear. So that take out to what? To step 3. That takes us to step 3. Step 3 is ungear the what? Ungear the beta of equity. And get the beta of equity. So what formula did I give you to ungear? Ungear beta of asset is equal to, let me go and copy the formula instead of writing it all over again, also to save time. So this is the formula here. I copy this formula down there. Okay, copy it down there. This is the formula we need to ungear. So what is our, we know our equity beta there, up there. Then what's our market value of equity? You now go to the average yearly. Anyway, okay, let me complete this. On the beta of equity, you see the proxy information. When you're on journey, all the information you need must come from the proxy company. Okay, so anytime you're on journey, please always remember that you are using the information of the proxy company. So what is the proxy market value of equity? The market value of equity of the proxy is 3 from the ratio given to us. You can see we are told that the debt equity ratio is what? 3 to 5. Whenever they give you ratio, just pick the ratio the way it is given. The first one is debt and the second one is equity. Okay, the first one is debt, the second one is equity. 3:5. 3:5. So 3 is debt, 5 is equity. So my equity is 5. Okay. What about my debt? Debt is 3. What is the tax rate? What is the tax rate given to us in the question? Tax rate is what is it? 21%. Tax rate is 21%. So I proceed. Beta of asset is equal to beta of equity. What is beta of equity? 1.4. And I say 1.4 into bracket, market value of equity is 5. All over 5 plus 3. Open bracket, 1 minus tax rate is 0.21. So close this. Do we have beta of debt? No. In the whole question, you will see that they did not give us this information, this beta here. They didn't give us beta of debt. So since beta of debt is not given, we are going to assume anytime beta of debt is not given, always assume that beta of debt is 0. So the second part of the formula will be 0. So our beta of asset will now be equal to 1.4 into bracket 5 all over 5 plus 3 into bracket 0.79. Close the bracket. So beta of asset will be equal to, from here it is now simple, it is simple from here. So 5 all over, so now multiply 3 times 0.79. 3 times 0.79 is 2.37 plus 5. That is 7.37. 7.37. So beta of asset will now be equal to 5 divided by 3.5 over 7.37 will give me 0.678. I will now say times 1.4. So that gave me 0.95. I believe you have your calculator and you are following the way I'm doing it. This is our beta of assets. So meaning that if VP should go into the financial holiday travel business, this is the level of business risk the company will face. That is the level of business risk the company will face. Okay, That's the level of business risk the company will face. But go and look at the information of Baoku. Is Baoku having debt or not? Baoku is having debt. And what's the ratio of the debt to equity of Baoku? Let's see. What's the gearing ratio? What's the gearing ratio? Are we giving gearing ratio? No. We are not given gearing ratio. What we are given is we are given the market value of equity and we are given the market value of debt. So that is enough for me. That's enough for me. Look at it. Market value of debt is 108 per 100, while market value of equity is 276. So he said that the question give you market value or the question give you gearing ratio. Whichever is given, you are good to go. Okay? He said that gearing ratio or the question give you the market value of both equity and debt. So you can see that for the proxy, we are given what? We are given gearing ratio. But for BP, for Baoku, we are given what? We are given the market value as absolute figure. So I will go with that. That will take me to what? Step 4. That takes me to step 4. Step 4 is what? Reject. We are going to reject now. Why are we rejecting? We have to reject because Baoku is having debt. So you need to incorporate Baoku's debt into this business risk. And how do we do that? Beta of equity will now be equal to beta of asset plus beta of asset minus beta of debt times market value of debt into bracket 1 minus tax rate all over market value of equity. Okay, so what is our market value of equity? Okay, our beta first. Beta of debt, we assume it is 0, Abi, because beta of debt is not given in the question. So you always assume it is 0 when it is not given. Value of equity, we're told that the equity is 2.76 in naira times how many units of the equity we have? We have 233 and the nominal value per unit is 10 kobo. So divide 233 by 0.1 to get the total unit of equity for this question company. So 233 all over 0.1. 0.1 is 10 kobo. So I will have 233 divided by 0.1, that is 2,330. That is the number of equity. And each of them is valued at what? 2.76. So multiply by 2.76. I have 6,430.8. 6,430.8. 6,430.8. That is the market value of equity. What about market value of debt? Market value of debt is equal to, now the total nominal value of debt in the question, we have two types of debt anyway. We have the long-term loan, we have the debenture. For the debenture is what? 1,900 total nominal value. And nominal value per unit is what? Is 100. So what is the total unit? 1,900 all over 100. And the market value per unit is what? 108. So I multiply this by what? Multiply by 108. So let's do that. We have 1,900 by 100 times 108. I have 2052. 2052. Now you know we have two types of debt. This one is traded. We also have bank loan. You combine the two. Combine the two. So the second one is long-term bank loan. And long-term bank loan is not traded. Since it is not traded, then the market value is going to be the same thing as the book value, 635. So 635. Add these two together. I have 2052 plus 635. That will give us 2687. 2687. That is total market value of debt. What is our tax rate? Our tax rate is 21%. So put it there. Our tax rate is 21%. So therefore, beta of equity will be equal to beta of asset is 0.95 plus open bracket beta of asset 0.95 minus beta of debt, which is 0, 0, all over, times market value of debt, 2687 into bracket, am I correct? Yes, into bracket 0.79. That's 1 minus tax rate, 0.79. Okay, all over market value of equity, which is what? 6,430.8. As simple as this. And I told you don't cram this formula because you have a lot to cram. So don't let this, don't add this formula to what you want to cram, please. We have a lot of formula that we must cram, but this one, don't cram it. It will be given to you free of charge. You don't need to pay. So beta of equity will be equal to 0.95 plus, okay, plus this minus 0 is still 0.95. Now multiply by 2687 times 0.79 will give us 2122.73, 2122.73 all over 6430.8. So beta of equity will be equal to, this one will soon go off, and that may be the end of class for today. So I want us to compute the cost of equity so that we don't start from there tomorrow. So let us get this directly. 2122.73 divided by 6430.8 will give me 0.33. I multiply by 0.95 equal to, then plus 0.95. My beta of equity is 1.26. 1.26 is my beta of equity. 1.26. So if this is my beta of equity, what next? I go to the next step. What's the next step? 5. Step 5. Step 5. Which is what? Compute cost of equity. So you can see how simple it is. Cost of equity. Cost of equity. So we use our CAPM. KE is equal to, what's our risk-free rate in the question? Let's see. What's the risk-free rate given in this question? The risk-free rate of return is, where do I have it? Okay, the risk-free rate is 2%. One market, the return on the market, that's market return. Okay, so we have 2% plus 1.26